If you want to be extremely successful as a woman running a business, it goes far beyond overworking a man. Actually, it will not work if you try the same tactics, same strategies as all these 7, 8 figure male business entrepreneurs. At least that is what I've learned in the last 2 years of scaling my business from $1,000 a month to $100,000 a month. If you're new here, hello. My name is Celine. I'm 25 years old and I help women learn how to invest in the stock market. I run an online coaching business. I'm also an investor. And in the last 2 years of the start of my business journey, I started an online coaching business where I help women from all ages, from all different backgrounds, learn how to invest as a complete beginner without the finance degree, without the economics background, to learn how to invest like a Wall Street investor within 6 months. In this video, I want to focus on the spiritual aspect of what it means to achieve success, especially when it comes to business. Over the course of these last 2 years, I've really achieved it all. In the last 2 years, I've scaled my Instagram from only 1,000 followers up to 220,000 followers in 2 years. I've scaled my business, as I mentioned before, from 1,000 to my biggest month of $140,000 in my business. I have an amazing, talented, loyal team of 8 women working for me and over 200 women that are making 6 figures a month that are in my community called Luna. So I've achieved a lot, and I think externally from an external material perspective, I've made it. I'm successful. But throughout these 2 years, I've went through so many obstacles that I've started to realize that in the moments where I've really accelerated and jumped to another level in my business, so like the moments where I went from 1,000 to 20,000 in a month, and the moments when I was making 20,000 a month to like 100,000 a month in just a few months, like those moments where I've quantum jumped, I realized those were the moments when I really connected back to myself spiritually. Actually, I would say, of course, I worked very hard to achieve where I am today, but the biggest moments where I really had the biggest quantum jump in my business, where I went from 5 to 6 figures in just a few months, is the moments when I had a spiritual awakening. And I've had multiple spiritual awakenings throughout these 2 years. And it's really, the success of my business comes really in the same alignment as my spiritual self. When I lose touch of myself and I disconnect and I focus too much on achieving the material success in my business, that's when my business goes down. Funny enough, just 2 months ago, I've lost my Instagram. I explained in the previous YouTube story what has happened to my Instagram, but long story short, I've been hacked on Instagram, and for 2 months, I've been trying to get it back, and it's been up and down every time. I've got my Instagram account back 2-3 times, but every time it keeps getting shut down. And after these 2 months of fighting so hard to get it back, I actually reflected and realized this is the universe trying to slow me down again, because I feel like I've just been focused too much on the material success. I've been too much in my masculine energy, trying to hustle, 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 succeed, succeed, and achieve, achieve all this money. And I've stopped to focus on myself again and to really realign with my initial purpose, my true purpose, which I truly believe is to help women heal from this hustle culture, heal from the masculine energy, and reconnect with themselves and get back into their feminine energy. I think that's really my true purpose. And I myself can't achieve the success if I'm not living my true purpose. I'm not a perfect example of it. And I've really become overly masculine in the last couple of months. So in this video, I'm going to talk about really the the three biggest spiritual tools and techniques that I use that has really grown my business to 6 figures a month. So the first biggest and most important thing, I think, from a spiritual perspective is the biggest thing that is going to accelerate your business is breaking your limiting beliefs. As we step into new levels of our business, we have new challenges. And when you're at a stage in your business where you try so hard to work so hard and you're just not getting the results you want, is because you are trying to achieve a certain level of success where there's a version of you that is not yet there. 2 years ago, when I was just at the early stages of coaching and investing, teaching women how to invest, I was charging $60 an hour back then. I was trading my time for money. I was helping women on an hourly basis, getting on a Zoom call with them, teaching them how to invest. I was charging $60K. And back then my coaching was around, I think I made on a good month around $2,000 with my coaching business. And I really didn't know what was possible back then. I mean, 2 years ago, this was like right in the middle of COVID. I didn't have any entrepreneur friends. I was really doing this by myself. And I went through the biggest spiritual transformation when I really sat down and asked myself what I truly wanted out of this life. And I was in the cross path between going back to Switzerland and working as a full-time investment analyst, working in a 9-to-5 job, or loving what I do and working for myself and helping women learn how to invest in the stock market and being a coach. Like, this is what I truly, really love to do. But at that stage, I still had a lot of limiting beliefs, believing that success is only when you go down the traditional path and working that 9-to-5 job and climbing that corporate ladder. For me, that was what I thought success was back then. And I actually only believed I was able to make maximum like $4,000 a month with my coaching business. And the plan was to have my 9-to-5 job on top of my coaching business and make like a good 8K a month. But this was a long goal that I had. I was hoping to achieve like 10K a month in like 5 years. That was my goal back then, right? And then I met my mentor, Maribel, who I met on Instagram. And she's now my best friend. But back then when she followed me, we just found each other on Instagram. She completely broke my limiting belief of really taking my business to the next level. When we got on a call one day, and she was a business mentor back at that time, and she was already making like $100,000 a month. I wanted to like get to her level, at least like, make $5,000 a month with my business. The first thing she told me was like, Celine, you're charging way too cheap for your coaching. You're providing so much value. And there are gonna be people out there that have the money that want to invest in you because you provide a lot of value and you're really transforming their life. But back then I didn't believe in myself. So she basically told me that if I were to work with her, within 3 months, she'd be able to get me from making $1,000 to $10,000 a month. And I did not believe her. I was like, there's no way. Maybe in a year, let's say, if I was really lucky, I'll make $10,000 a month. And she's like, trust me, I've done it. If you follow my strategy, this is a limiting belief, you can do it. I followed her strategy, and within 1 month, I made $20,000. And I couldn't believe my eyes. And I think the biggest thing that really changed my course was just believing in what I had, the value that I had to offer, and just targeting the right clients who were the exact dream clients that I wanted to work with, which were actually women that were in tech, in healthcare, like women who are, making a certain amount of income that they could really use to reinvest into the stock market. And when they do make that certain return, they would be also making a couple $1,000s a month. But it would only work if they had a certain amount of savings to invest. Whereas back then I would only teach students who weren't making any money, and they had no money to invest. So that's why, how can I achieve that type of success if I have the wrong type of clients that don't match the offer that I were to give. So this was a lot of inner work to break my limiting belief. Like the first limiting belief I had was that there was no way I could make $10,000 a month at 22 years old. So it takes a lot of reflection and self-awareness to really understand why do you believe the certain beliefs that you have now. And most of the time, a lot of the beliefs that we currently hold is things that we've been taught in our childhood, things that your parents have taught you, things that the society, your friends, school system has taught you. And so your job, if you really want to transform your life, is to ask yourself, why do you have these certain beliefs, and learn to break out of it. Now, how do you break out of your limiting beliefs? One is obviously you need to be self-aware. If you're not even aware that you have limiting beliefs, whether that is you believe that you have to do a 9-to-5 job to pay your bills, you have to not enjoy your job, you feel like if your dream is to become a painter or a singer or a content creator, but you don't believe that you could really make a living out of it doing something that you really love, that's a limiting belief. Everything in life is possible. But you have to step into the version of you that believes that you can actually do it. So a good way to really break those limiting beliefs is actually simply being around people that are where you need to be. For example, my best friend Maribel, she was already making 6 figures a month, and she's been through that process. So she literally told me it's possible, and I just listened to her, and I just tried the strategies that she did. And the moment I was able to achieve that result, that's when my whole world shake, and I was able to step into that new version of myself, right? So the first one is working relentlessly on breaking your limiting beliefs. And how you're gonna do that is actually through shadow work. Shadow work is when you are journaling and asking yourself very difficult questions about why you believe the certain things. For example, a big thing that I do when I work with my clients, when I'm working on their money limiting beliefs, is that I ask them, what was the first memory you had of money? What were the major values that your parents taught you about money? Was it something that was taboo as a kid? Like, was it something that they didn't want to speak about because money was so tight? And even the smallest things, they had to like budget. So yeah, a lot of things that you believe, whether that is about money or is about a lot of other things, about success, about what you should do for your life, about love, about everything, is just years of conditioning of what you were taught to believe as a kid. And you just weren't self-aware enough to really ask yourself that question. So I would definitely say the best thing to start breaking your limiting beliefs is go on Pinterest and search top journal prompts for the thing that you want to work on. That has worked wonders for me. And so the second spiritual practice that I really work on relentlessly, that has really helped me scale and succeed in my business, is learning how to reprogram my mind and how to manifest. So I could talk hours about manifestation, and I really believe I could make like 100 videos on manifestation, because I really, 2 years ago, when I didn't have anything, when I didn't start my business, when I didn't travel the world, when I didn't run, when I wasn't a CEO helping and working under 8 women, working over 8 women, I deep down had an idea of what I wanted to do, but I didn't know how to achieve it. So what I did, essentially, how you can actually reprogram your mind and manifest, is through first visualization. So doing some type of guided meditation. That's what I think is easiest for those of you who are not so familiar with meditation. Search a YouTube video called like visualizing your dream life. and literally sit with yourself for 20 minutes and go through that guided meditation and just try to visualize. And the best is when you're just about to fall asleep. When you're in a kind of sleepy state, you're able to kind of closely fall into a dream-like state where you can start really visualizing and seeing what your life could look like. I remember almost when I was taking a nap and I was about to fall asleep, I did a visualization on what my dream house was looking like. And as I fell asleep, I literally remembered I was lucid dreaming and I was entering a state of sleeping. And I saw myself sitting outside of my beautiful terrace in the Mediterranean in Sicily, in Italy, with a 10-bedroom mansion with marble floors, with the view of the Lake Como mountain. And I saw my 3 children. Like, I kid you not, I literally saw I had like two daughters and 1 son. And I was holding them and I was laughing and we were like making some videos or something and we were overlooking the infinity pool. Like, the visualization was so clear. And that kind of just gave me a direction of where I need to go. And I was thinking, okay, if I want to be able to live this life in the visualization of what my normal day-to-day life, what are the habits that I need to be doing on a day-to-day basis to get me to that point? Is it going to be going home every night and just watching Netflix 3 hours a day and just go to sleep? Or right before I go to sleep, in these 3 hours, I'm reading new books, learning new skills on YouTube, just diving into like really being a life student and learning new skills that are high income skills that can get me to that stage of my life where I can live that dream life. So manifestation and visualization works only if you take the action and you work on energetically to become that person that can be like that. What do I mean energetically? So how manifestation works is becoming the person that feels the emotions of what your dream higher self feels. If you want to be at a state in your life where money isn't a problem, you check your bank account and you know that you don't have to really chase after the next, you have to chase after the next month to get your bills, to pay all your bills. If you want to get a state of like stress-free, you're financially free, you can travel everywhere around the world, you have to really ask yourself a tough question to see like, are you currently, what state of emotion that you're currently feeling right now? And what type of vibration are you emitting? If you're still like living in a scarcity mindset and you're feeling guilt and doubting yourself and you feel shame about just who you are as a person, that type of emotion is at a certain vibrational state. And I'm gonna put a table right here of the different vibrational energies there are in different types of emotion. And so shame, guilt, fear, sadness, depression is all at the lowest level of vibrational level. If you want to feel completely like financially free and you feel fulfilled and you love what you do and you can travel the world, this is going to be at such a high vibrational state that it's not going to energetically match where you are now. So how are you going to be able to bridge that gap and close that gap to who you are now and where you want to be? Well, you have to start tricking your mind and start practicing how you are feeling now to get to a higher vibrational state that eventually it's gonna match that energetic level, and that's when you start attracting everything you want. So in 2022, I wrote a list of 22 things that I wanted to attract, and I was able to achieve everything on that list within a year. I wrote in that list that I wanted to make $10,000 a month. I wanted to reach 100,000 followers in a year. I wanted to be surrounded by a bunch of entrepreneur friends. I wanted to be able to travel whenever I want. I wanted to love, and I think the most important thing is I wanted to love what I do and not have to worry about money. And I think now, over the last 3 years of manifesting, and I'm getting so good at manifesting, you also should actually focus less on the material goal and actually just focus on how you want to feel when you achieve that goal. So what I said exactly before, I want to feel fulfilled in what I do and get paid really good for it. And so be very careful when you are manifesting, make sure that you are using present tense. Why? Because when you're writing in present tense, you are entering a state, an emotional state where you're stepping into the highest version of yourself that believes that she can achieve it. So if you want to achieve, let's say, $10,000 a month and be financially free, in your affirmations, when you're manifesting, you have to write, I am making $10,000 a month doing something that I love. Once you have a list of things that you want to manifest, the second step is to literally feel as if you have achieved that manifestation. And then the third step is to repeat and reread your manifestation every morning and every night for 1 month. Literally read your manifestations. I don't know if you want, you can put it on a piece of paper and put it under your pillow, or if you want to put it on your wallpaper, on your phone or computer, just put it somewhere where you can see it every single day. Vision boards also work, but just writing a list of manifestations won't actually help you achieve your manifestations unless you work on feeling the actual emotion of what it's like to obtain and achieve that goal. So you have to literally work on the energy of raising your vibrational level. Then the third one is through repetition. Literally, what I did for 1 month to enter that state, to be completely confident, to feel good, to like make that money and to believe that I can attract those type of entrepreneur friends that are making 6 figures a month, is through mirror work. So this one, you might feel a little bit stupid if you do this in the beginning, but I literally went in front of the mirror and I talked to myself as if it is a friend of mine that I truly love, and I talk to them as if it's a second person. And I re-say all the affirmations that I want to believe in myself. So when I literally sat in front of the mirror and I said, Celine, I have no doubt that you are going to be so successful in 1 year doing what you love, because you truly have a gift in this world. And I know that you're such you're so good at naturally speaking, and I have no doubt in 1 year time you're gonna be successful, make 10,000 a month. And then you just kind of write a bunch of different affirmations and you say that to yourself, and you say it really look into your eyes when you say that. It's not gonna feel natural in the beginning, but as you practice, you're gonna really reprogram your mind to believe that. Why? Because when you're young, your parents are constantly telling you, oh, why you do this? You know, like, oh, you're clumsy, or oh, you're stupid. Like whatever you believe that you are now is because your parents or your friends or your society is just telling you that again and again. What you want to do is rewrite your subconscious beliefs, and how you're going to do that is through constant repetition. So that's how you manifest. The third spiritual practice that has really helped me accelerate my growth is in the times when I'm going through extreme obstacles and I feel like the universe is testing me, and sometimes I really don't know the answer and I need some type of reassurance. I look for a spiritual coach. Just like if you were to learn guitar, piano, or learn a new language, you'll have a teacher. Well, I have a coach for my spiritual beliefs. And every time I go to my spiritual coach, I always get the answers. So I'll give you a really fun, interesting story time. Actually, I have 2 crazy stories, but I think to save time, I'm gonna only talk about one story, which just happened last week. So I told you guys, right? My Instagram got shut down and I really needed answers. So I went back to my spiritual coach and I asked her, like, can you do a tarot reading for me and tell me like what is happening in my life right now? Because I have a feeling I'm being tested by the universe, but I don't know what. And she pulled out a card and she's just like, hey, look, your masculine and your feminine energy is extremely unbalanced right now. You're at the stage where you're just achieving so much and you're hustling so much, which is great, but don't forget what is your true purpose, which is teaching women how to heal and awaken and heal their feminine energy. But what am I doing? I'm not living my purpose. I'm not a good example of that because I'm so much in my masculine energy. So if I want to have like my business flow well, I generally believe like I had to just reconnect back to myself. And she's like, Celine, just take this time, this month, to just stop working and reconnect back to yourself. Learn to love yourself again and like nurture your feminine energy. And she was telling me like through that, reconnect with your community, work on giving back to your community, and also like heal through music. She's like right now, like she's getting this feeling of like you should do something with music. It's gonna really increase your vibration. And crazy enough, before she even told me this, I felt such a strong desire to like play piano for the past couple of weeks. I've been playing piano every single day, and I used to play piano for 12 years, and now I'm getting back into it. Like I have the weirdest desire to do that, and I'm like getting back into dancing again. So like I don't know if you're someone that is spiritual and you don't have a spiritual coach, I really encourage and suggest, if you're going through a really tough time of your life, invest in a spiritual coach. There's some type of they are coaches for some reason. Like they are good at what they do because they have some type of, they're able to channel the divine energy, whether that's the universe or God. They're able to channel that energy into them, and they're able to kind of guide you. So yeah, I, through constantly working on my subconscious beliefs, breaking my limiting beliefs, manifestation, visualization, and having a spiritual coach, these are the spiritual practices that I use religiously to help me really not just be super successful in my business, but help guide me to become the woman that I dream of, the woman that I truly become. So if you found this video super helpful, I would be so grateful if you could drop a comment, a like, and subscribe to my channel. I really am on a mission to just talk about my journey as a businesswoman and help all the women out there just heal and awaken to become the best version of themselves. So yes, I hope you enjoyed this video. And until next time, thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.